Hello and welcome to CIPD Bitesize. In this video, we are looking at a 5002 unit evidence-based practice, AC1.2. Now, you're currently part of task one, where you're answering 7 questions. You have 2,900 words, which is 414 words per AC, and you've got a bit of a scenario. You have to address the scenario. The scenario is essential to pass the question, so make sure that you're fully aware of this scenario. I'm not going to read it out to you. I might do it in the next one. I tried to mix it up so that you're not hearing the same thing, but the scenario is essential in passing this unit, so ensure that you're covering the scenario, ensure that you're covering the elements that are in there, because if you don't reference a scenario in your response, it's a refer on the question. If you go 10% of your word count, it's a refer on the question. If there is no references or citations or information, it's a refer on the question. So again, make sure you're fully up to date with the case study. It's one of the critical elements on there. And by all means, pause the video and have a read of the case study. Technivara, design and engineer components. Okay. If you're not paused it and you're just waiting for me to carry on, let's just carry on. AC 1.2, evaluate one appropriate analysis tool and one appropriate analysis method that Technivara might apply to recognize and diagnose issues, challenges, and opportunities. So, one appropriate analysis tool, one appropriate analysis method, and it has to diagnose issues, challenges, and opportunities. Now, in essence, that covers quite a lot. It's not like anything that you think about, and any analysis tool can identify issues and challenges. What's the point in an analysis tool if it doesn't? Any analysis method should help you identify issues and challenges. It doesn't really matter if it should, and it's not really a method if it doesn't. The reason it's underlined on this when I've highlighted it on the question is make reference to it in your answer. If you're doing an analysis tool, how does it recognize? If you're doing a method, how does it recognize? Make sure you put that in your answer. So when you evaluate, again, your verb is evaluate, make sure that you evaluate it properly, but you're closing off about how this method can diagnose something. Make sure that's your close. If you think of it as a summary, like this is the analysis method, this is the tool that we're going to use, this is how it works, this is how it could benefit because of this data, this data, this data, and this is how we recognize the challenges. This is how it will recognize the challenges, opportunities, and things like that. Just make sure that you build it up correctly as you go through. So yeah, as always, we've got a study plan for you to follow. By all means, pause the video, copy this down, don't mind, steal it. This is just how we plan out how we're going to give you advice on these questions. So we use what's called a study plan. And so the question is AC 1.2, the verb is evaluate. The scenario required yes is essential within this particular unit. What is your word count? Your word count is 414 words. You put it here, 1.2, and then you need to break it into action points. So if you're evaluating, you've got analysis tool, that's action point 1, analysis method, action point 2. You need references per action point, so you'll seek references with regards to an analysis tool, references to an analysis method. Also look for data to prove that they work. You're trying to evaluate something, so why is it beneficial? An analysis tool should have quite a lot of evidence to prove why they think it works, because otherwise why would anybody use it? So ensure that you're proving it. Prove it, prove it, prove it. Evidence-based practice is all about proving it. Prove you know what you're talking about with data, statistics, information. That is what evidence-based practice is. So if you've got a hunch or a feeling, you're probably right. But how can you prove you're right? You prove you're right with external data. And that's what this question's wanting you to do. Here's an example of one filled out. 1.1, explaining it. None of it's connected to this scenario, but it's just an example of how we fill it out when we're planning out our answers and stuff like that to be able to do these videos. So again, pause the video, jot this down for yourself, work out what you want to do, think about what tool you want to use, think about what method you want to use, break it into action points. Absolutely perfect way of doing it. Now, we're not just going to leave you high and dry. We are going to give you some recommended reading to help you on with the question, which is, we've got 4 for this particular one. We normally do about 3, so, going above and beyond. But CIPD fact sheet, people analytics. analysis tools, analysis method. People Management Magazine, amazing insights you can learn from people analytics. CIPD fact sheets, workforce reporting, and I think a really good standardized one, which I'm quite a big fan of, which is AIHR, which is what is HR analytics. I think sometimes if you're asked to evaluate something, analysis tools, analysis methods, well, let's start with the base. What is it? What is it that I'm thinking? Because if I'm evaluating, I need to evaluate based on my understanding from there, and then I need to back up my understanding with evidence and research. Now, as always, to try and help you understand the question in a little bit more depth and to give you a little bit more of a well-rounding on the question, we create a bit of a fictitious scenario to just sort of spin the question on its head a little bit and just sort of give you an idea of what you might want to put together when you're thinking about your answer. This isn't sort of a clue to that. We kind of spin it on its head. So you see, we're talking about something completely different. And in this one, HR is a doctor. So imagine you're a doctor tasked with diagnosing a patient's illness. The patient is the organization, and the symptoms of various issues, challenges, and opportunities that they're facing. So analysis tools and methods might be a physical exam, which is a qualitative research. Just as a doctor examines a patient's body for signs of illness, you would conduct interviews, surveys, obligations to gather qualitative data about the organization's culture. You've got lab tests, which is quantitative data to get a deeper understanding of the organization's health. You conduct quantitative research, such as financial analytics, customer satisfaction surveys, and employee turnover rates. You've got medical imaging, which is data visualization. To visualize the results of your analysis, you would choose like charts, graphs, dashboards to identify trends, patterns, and root causes. Consultation with specialists, so you bring in external opinions. When faced with complex or specialized issues, you consult with experts in the field, like human resources, finance, or marketing, to get their insights and recommendations. So once you diagnose organizational issues, you try and identify a root cause. Just as a doctor must identify the underlying cause of a patient's illness, you need to determine the root cause of the organization's problems. You need to develop a treatment plan, and you need to monitor progress. These are all the things HR should be doing within an organization once they identify the root cause of a problem. So using a variety of analysis tools and methods, you can effectively diagnose an organization's issue and create a development plan to improve its overall health and performance. Hopefully that makes sense. Best of luck with this particular unit. I'm sure you'll do absolutely great. Just think about how you would want to see information, how you want to know what's going on, how you would want to pull information to improve an organization. And that's pretty much the fundamentals of the question. Best of luck, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.